Have you ever felt like your story paused somewhere, but the ink never ran out? Maybe your book of life is still lying open. Not on the last page, but right in the middle. And what if the most beautiful chapters haven't even been written? Yet this thought nor this feeling doubt is what brought you here. Welcome, friend. You're not here by accident. This is the Diamond series by Elderly Paradox, and today you're joining us for episode 3. If you followed us from the beginning, you already know. This series isn't just about aging, it's about awakening. Our last episode explored how isolation dims even the brightest spirits, but also how small shifts can reopen the heart to hope, meaning, and connection. And today is about rediscovery. It's about that spark, that tiny, quiet desire inside you, the one you've tucked away behind duty, family, and time. Maybe it's a passion, a dream, a skill, or even just a scent that reminds you of who you used to be and still are. What if right now is the perfect time to return to it? Let me ask you something. Have you ever danced in your kitchen when no one was watching? Have you ever looked at old paints, old notebooks, old tools, and thought, I miss this, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not late. This episode is called Rekindle Old Passions, Ignite New Sparks. Adventure has no age limit, because truly, it doesn't. We often think adventure means mountains or maps or plane tickets, but adventure really is a mindset. It's saying yes to something that makes your heart beat faster. It's giving yourself permission to try, to explore, to learn, and sometimes to return. Maybe you once played piano. Your fingers still remember even if they fumble at first. Maybe you used to garden, your hands in the soil, the scent of tomatoes and roses, the rhythm of the earth calming your breath. Or maybe you loved woodworking, the smell of cedar, the sound of the chisel, the satisfaction of creating something real and lasting. These aren't hobbies, these are doorways. You see, every time you pick up something you loved and lost, you step through a doorway back into yourself. And in that moment, something incredible happens. Your age doesn't matter. What matters is presence, joy, movement, expression. Let me tell you about Jim, a 73-year-old retired mailman from Minnesota. His kids gave him an iPad for Christmas, so you can FaceTime us, Dad. But Jim didn't just use it for video calls. One night he stumbled onto a free online jazz piano class, and the music hit him like a memory. He hadn't touched a keyboard in 40 years. Now, he plays every evening. Sometimes alone, sometimes for neighbors, always with a smile that makes him look 20 years younger, or Martha, 68, who joined a community garden club in her town outside Seattle. Her hands shake a little now, but when she tells you the names of heirloom tomatoes and wildflowers, you forget completely. She laughs more, sleeps better, found a new circle of friends, all from a $10 membership and a little dirt under her nails. Maybe you don't have a garden club nearby, that's okay. There are online communities, Facebook groups, even YouTube tutorials for nearly every craft, every art, every interest imaginable. There are woodworking forums, knitting circles, writing challenges, painting live streams, all from the comfort of home. And if you want connection in person, try local community centers. Many offer free or low-cost classes for seniors, music, dance, painting, languages. Some colleges even allow seniors to audit classes for free. You can sit in on poetry lectures, history discussions, even astronomy nights. Not for grades, just for the wonder of it. Think about that. You could walk into a room tomorrow and say, I'm here because I was curious. And that would be enough. And if your energy's not the same as before, that's okay too. You don't need to be the best. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to begin, because beginning keeps you young. Trying new things doesn't mean climbing Everest. It might mean picking up a paintbrush again, or learning a phrase in French, or building a tiny birdhouse with your grandson and letting him do most of the work. It might mean looking at your own town with new eyes, visiting the little museum you've passed 100 times but never entered, watching a local play, sitting in the park with a field guide and learning bird calls. These are not small things. They are living, and as long as you're alive, life is inviting you to take part. So before we go any further, let's take a deep breath together. Inhale, possibility. Exhale the fear that says, it's too late, You are not done. You are not invisible. You are not your aches, your prescriptions, your calendar. You are still you. And this chapter, it's waiting. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you felt useful, not just busy, but genuinely needed? When did someone last ask for your advice, not out of politeness, but because they truly valued your experience? You see, society has a strange habit. It praises youth, applauds speed, but often forgets the quiet power of those who've walked many paths, made mistakes, learned deeply, and survived more than most will ever know. But here, in this space, we remember. We honor the fact that you've lived, that you've endured, that you hold stories, skills, and wisdom that younger generations desperately need, even if they don't yet know how to ask for it. So today's message is simple. You're not just welcome in this world, you're essential. This episode is called Your Wisdom Has Worth, How to Share, Mentor, and Make a Difference at any age. Let's begin here. Do you remember being young and confused, wishing someone older would guide you? Even one kind voice might have changed everything. Well, now when you can be that voice, and it doesn't need a classroom, it doesn't need a title. It begins with your presence. Have you ever shared a recipe and someone smiled, tasted it and said, "Just like my grandma's"? Have you ever explained how to sew a button, change a tire, or calm a crying child? That's mentoring. Have you told a teenager, "I've been through heartbreak too and it passes"? That's wisdom. Maybe you don't feel wise, but you've raised children, built a home, survived grief, loved deeply, and kept going when you didn't know how. That is wisdom. Now imagine sharing that, gently, naturally, in places that need it most. Libraries often welcome volunteers to read to children. Schools love guest speakers during career days. Community centers need mentors to teach life skills, art, basic tech, or even just conversation. And online, there are platforms where your stories, tips, or even a 10-minute video can reach thousands. You're not too old for impact. In fact, your timing may be perfect. Because here's the secret. When you give, you heal. When you're needed, you feel alive. When someone listens to your words and says, "Thank you," something inside you remembers who you really are. And if you're not ready to teach, guide, or lead, that's okay too. You can simply begin by connecting. Call someone you haven't in years. Start a memory journal for your grandchildren. Join a WhatsApp group that shares poetry or life reflections. Write letters to yourself, to old friends, even to people you've lost. You'd be amazed how much power is released when your voice is heard, even if the listener is just the page, because your words matter. You matter. Have you ever looked at an old photo of yourself, maybe holding a guitar, standing beside a camping tent, or smiling next to a garden you proudly planted, and thought, where did that version of me go? That vibrant, curious, maybe even a little bit rebellious spirit? Here's the secret. That version of you isn't lost. It's just been waiting, quietly, patiently, for the right moment. And my friend, that moment is now. You see, aging isn't about slowing down, it's about shifting gears. You've been climbing mountains all your life, raising a family, working hard, being responsible. But what if I told you the view from this age, this stage, is actually the best part? Now is when the road opens up again. Now is when your passions, your longings, your untold stories, they all come back to life if you let them. You don't need permission. You already earned it. And that's exactly what we've been talking about in our Elderly Paradox Diamond series, a journey back to the truest version of ourselves. In the last episode, we explored how simple shifts, like reconnecting with hobbies or becoming a tourist in your own town, can reignite a sense of wonder. And now, in part 3, we're going deeper. Not just to remember what lit you up before, but to discover new sparks you never knew were waiting. You remember that feeling. That first time you tried something new, not because you had to, but because you wanted to. Maybe it was your first painting class, your first solo trip, or the moment you heard applause after sharing a story or song. That thrill of trying, of learning, of realizing you're capable of more than even you believed. That feeling. It's not age-bound, it's spirit-bound. Let me ask you this. What's something you've always wanted to learn, but life just got in the way? Maybe you dreamed of speaking Italian after watching a romantic film set in Florence. Maybe you envied those who could paint a sunset with watercolor or play a jazz tune on the piano. Or maybe you watched your grandkids coding or editing videos and thought, well, that's their world, not mine. But why not yours? In cities across the US, seniors are auditing college classes for free. Yes, free. From creative writing to archaeology, from astronomy to American history. Imagine sitting in a classroom, not for grades or pressure, but just for the joy of absorbing something new. Lifelong learning isn't a trend. It's a key to vitality. It reminds your brain and your heart that you're still growing. And if you're thinking, but I don't want to go back to school, no worries. Your local library, community center, or even YouTube is a goldmine of accessible, senior-friendly knowledge. Online platforms like Coursera, Skillshare, and Masterclass offer bite-sized courses you can enjoy at your pace. You can learn French while sipping coffee on your porch, or understand digital photography while scrolling through old family albums. But here's the magic. It's not just what you learn, it's who you become while learning. Studies show that older adults who continue picking up new skills experience improved memory, sharper focus, and increased emotional well-being. But we don't need science to tell us that, do we? We feel it. That quiet smile we get when we realize, I did it, I didn't give up. Still worried it's too late to start something new. Let me introduce you to a few remarkable people. There's Barbara Beskind, who became a designer at IDEO at age 90. She had always dreamed of inventing and finally got her shot, decades after retirement. Or Diana Nyad, who swam from Cuba to Florida at 64. And we can't forget Grandma Moses, who started painting seriously in her 70s. These aren't just feel-good stories, they are reminders, proof that the adventure doesn't stop unless you say it does. And no, your spark doesn't have to be world record-breaking. Maybe it's planting a new kind of flower in your garden, joining a community choir, or volunteering as a museum docent. Maybe it's writing letters to your great-grandchildren, or joining a bird-watching group. You'd be amazed how many birds you've never noticed before, each one reminding you, wonder is still everywhere. Sometimes it's not just about what you start, but who you start it with. Joining a class or club connects you to people who share your curiosity, new friendships, fresh conversations, laughing again, not at a memory, but at a moment that just happened. Loneliness fades in spaces where learning and laughter live. And yes, some days will feel slow. Some mornings you may wake up and think, not today. That's okay. But here's the thing, you don't have to feel ready to take the first step. You just have to take it. Passion has no expiration date, neither does purpose. So I ask you again, what is that one thing you've secretly wanted to try? Write it down. Don't overthink it. Just whisper it to yourself. And then ask, what's one tiny step I can take toward it today? Because here's the truth. You're not too old and it's not too late. You're just in the perfect season to rediscover the fire inside you. And we're here, walking this path with you. Because at Elderly Paradox, we believe this isn't the end of the story. It's the start of a brand new chapter. Let's keep turning the page together. And maybe, just maybe, you've started feeling it by now. That little tug inside. The one that says, I think I still have something in me. Something more. That quiet whisper growing louder. It's not too late. I still want to try. That's not a fantasy. That's your spirit trying to stretch again. See, one of the greatest myths about growing older is that adventure has to stop. That once you hit a certain age, your job is to sit back, shrink your world, and play it safe. But let me remind you of something. Playing it safe has never made a memory worth telling. You're not here just to pass time. You're here to fill it with stories, with laughter, with new attempts and second chances. Let's talk about something many overlook. Being a tourist in your own town. How many times have you driven past that local museum or historic house and said, one day I'll go? How often have you skipped the community art show, the jazz night at the local cafe, or the senior day at the zoo? Now's the time to stop skipping. Look into local listings. Many towns have senior discount days, free walking tours, pop-up exhibits, or storytelling nights. You don't need a passport to be curious. You just need to say yes more often. Imagine taking your grandchild to a local planetarium and watching their face light up as the stars come alive. Or joining a senior theatre workshop where you read dramatic lines and share belly laughs with new friends. These aren't just activities, they're life restarters. One man in Vermont, retired from 40 years in law enforcement, started painting watercolors at 68. His first show opened when he was 73. "I never imagined I'd be the one standing in a gallery with my name on the wall," he said. "But here I am. And guess what? You could be next." Curiosity isn't just a child's game, it's your secret to staying young. In fact, researchers at UC Berkeley found that seniors who actively engage in learning new things report not only higher happiness, but better memory retention and mental flexibility. That means every time you try something new, you're actually keeping your brain younger. Now let's bring it back to you. Maybe your dream was always to travel the world. Maybe Europe isn't in the cards right now, but how about a weekend trip? To a state park you've never explored? Pack a thermos, invite a friend, or just go solo with a notebook. Sit under a tree. Watch the breeze move. Let yourself breathe again. Because here's the truth, no one tells you. Adventure doesn't have to be big. It just has to be yours. Think of the things that once made your heart beat a little faster. The things that made your eyes sparkle. Maybe it was learning a new language. Italian? Spanish? There are free apps now. Online language exchange clubs. Even classes at your local library. Imagine finally understanding that opera you always loved, or planning a trip where you could order coffee in fluent French. Or maybe your thrill was performance. Dancing, singing, acting. Why not check out your community center's talent night? Who cares if you haven't done it in 40 years? That's what makes it a comeback. You don't need to be the best. You just need to be willing. Willing to show up. Willing to try. Willing to fail and try again. Because trying is what keeps the fire inside alive. Now let's touch on something important. Loneliness. Many older adults feel it, and that's okay to admit. But the cure isn't hiding, it's connecting. Whether it's through a local garden group, a bird-watching walk, or a digital storytelling course, every new spark you chase is a doorway to a new friendship. Even this channel, Elderly Paradox, is part of that connection. We are building a community, a space where your voice matters, where your dreams still count, and where your story isn't finished. So take this as your invitation. Come alive again. Say yes again. Yes to that song you loved in the 70s. Blast it and dance like your knees are still 30. Yes to starting that memoir, even if it's just one page today. Yes to joining the class, attending the meetup, asking someone new to coffee. Yes to rediscovering you. If you're still breathing, you're still becoming. Your story is still unfolding. And while the pages before this may be full of duties and sacrifices and work, the chapters ahead, they can be full of rediscovery, of passion, of things you choose just for you. So I'll leave you with this. What would happen if you lived like the best moments weren't behind you, but ahead? Don't just watch others do it. Don't just wish for it. Go after it. Whatever it is for you, whether you're 60, 70, 80 or beyond, you're not done. You're just different, wiser, freer. And finally, ready. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. If you found something in this video that sparked something inside you, drop us a comment below. Tell us what old passion you're rekindling or what new adventure you're chasing. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Elderly Paradox. Join our community of brave, curious, bold souls who know that aging doesn't mean stopping. It means starting a new kind of fire. Because here we believe in the diamond series of life, where the pressure of years has made you shine. Here's to your next chapter. Here's to your next spark. And most of all, here's to you. So before we go, let's not rush. Let's just sit with this. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to decide anything. Just be here. I'm here with you in this stillness. Let's hold space together for the dreams, the regrets, the courage, the hope. Let's breathe in the possibility and breathe out the fear. For the next 2 minutes, there will be no words, only music. Let your heart speak in that quiet, because sometimes the most powerful changes begin in silence. Let's rethink together